Now, Pierre, I want you to define yourself. How do you see yourself as an artist? How do you want the world to see you?
That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would define myself as a creative outlet.
Okay.
To say I'm a vessel, so whatever comes through is what's supposed to come through, and whatever comes out is what comes out.
Okay. And who are your influences? Like, what inspires you? Who inspired you?
Well, I have a lot of different influences. Primarily, I'm inspired by, I would say, a lot of different artists, like a lot of different artists from different genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're talking specifically music,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I draw inspiration from a lot of different things.
Well, who do you draw inspiration from? Give me some names.
Well, obviously, you know, from my era, I would say Michael Jackson.
Yeah, of course.
Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people that I actually draw inspiration from. Ron Isley.
Oh, yes.
Who else?
But I get it.
More of the neo soul, like what is his name? Music Soul Child.
Mm-hmm. Soul singers.
Soul singers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, inspirational singers, big singers like James Brown, of course. You know, can't forget him.
Well,
Ray Charles.
I was listening to your single, Remember.
Okay.
And there was a line in it, it's the old-fashioned love.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, because you have that quality, that old school kind of, in the genre of the people that you spoke of.
Yeah.
And it's rare because we have a lot of imposters out there now.
Yeah, and that, you know what it is with that for me, with Remember, it was really paying homage to some of the names that I mentioned, like Marvin Gaye. You could hear little subtle hints of, you know, the essence of Marvin Gaye.
Well, that interlude you did on your birthday, that gave me it was deep
Curtis
because it
Mayfield
was
type of thing.
Yeah, but it still had that Marvin Gaye-esque kind of vibe, but really the depth is more I'm talking about than just sounding like Marvin.
No, you know what it is, honestly, with you know, I think with everybody in any type of field, forget about music in general, you have to find who you are, to find who your voice is, something that makes you uniquely you. And I think that in these past few years, you know, with recording, I've been recording for a while now, and in these past few years, I think I've really found my voice. You know, people always say you need to find your sound, but I really think that you need to really distinctly find your voice.
Right.
You know, because that's the thing that's going to set you apart from this person. They're like, oh, well, that's Pierre. But that's the one thing that's funny too about my music is that I try to confuse the people. So like when you hear a song, I don't want you to hear it and be like, okay, I want you to be like, who is that? Instead of, you know, oh, that's Pierre. But, you know, I do have things, little nuances that, you know, that lead you back to me. You know, so like I said before, I love the first question you asked me as far as like the inspiration, because, you know, you draw inspiration from all different genres and not just.
And also you can't help it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in New York City. I'm a New York City native to the core. I actually, I was raised in Queens most of my life, my young adult life, and I lived in Harlem, right, not too far from here, maybe right in the stinking Lincoln.
Stinking Lincoln,
you know, the Lincoln Projects. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm a project. I'm not a project kid because I didn't live in the projects most of my life, but I did live in the projects for a short stay, maybe a few years, and you know. But I grew up primarily in Queens, Jamaica, Queens, and then also in I'm not.
Well,
I gotta shout the maze out up in Fresh Meadows. I grew up in Fresh Meadows.
Okay, because you know where your grandmother lived.
Yes.
My grandmother lives like across Farmers Boulevard, right there on 173rd Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I was just out there yesterday.
It doesn't look the same out there now. It's changed a lot.
Well, my sister now has my grandmother's house.
Oh, nice.
And it's pretty much the same.
I think the essence is the same, but I think that a lot of the structures changed a lot.
Yeah, because I did notice just even going from where my parents live over by Baisley Park to over there, that there were things I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
And also there are now people you don't recognize.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And that
a
neighborhood
whole
is
new
very
vibe
tight
going on.
knit.
Yeah.
Tight knit. Like a lot of the families that are in those neighborhoods have been there for decades. And you know, you see like with the resurgence of, you know, even over there, like we were just talking about gentrification. Even in Queens, it's even reached out to Queens. So you know, it's a lot of new faces, a lot of different, you know, different hues. And
Did you start singing in Queens or when you were young like that?
yes.
Okay, so where did that start?
Well, you're making me go deep.
Yeah, we gotta dig. We want to know who
I'm
Pierre is.
Pierre's a sensitive brother, so like if I start tearing up in
That's
certain
okay.
instances,
It's okay.
and I don't have a problem. There's no shame in my game. I like, you know, that's who I am. You know, take it or love, take it or leave it.
That's what we want to know who he is.
Well, when I started singing, I realized I had a voice because I had an uncle, my Uncle Emmett, God rest his soul, my Uncle Emmett Lanier. He was a musician, and he always kept instruments in the house. And I found out that I had a vocal gift in church. So my grandmother, my family, you know my family, they're very, very religious as far as like church and a lot of different things. And so like I think I found my voice in church.
Okay.
And I didn't really realize that I could sing, you know, until I, you know, just singing the hymnals in church. We grew up in the Kojic church. If you don't know what Kojic is, it's the Church of God in Christ.
Right.
And, you know, I think I found that I could sing just by, you know, singing in church.
And where did you make the bridge to professional?
Oh, well, again, it seems like all roads kind of cross back to church because I remember the earliest memory that I have of, you know, before the professional. I'm gonna go back before we go forward. Was I was in my friend's house, and I don't know if you remember in the early '90s when Lauryn Hill came out with "Killing Me Softly."
Oh, of course.
And you know, we're listening to the song, and actually she came out with the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That's another person I'm heavily inspired by. And of course, she has a gospel voice as well.
Right.
So, you know, I was just singing a song, and I was singing "Killing Me Softly" in my friend's room, and his mom came in the room, and she just so happens to be the choir director of his grandfather's church. So she was like, "You need to come sing in my choir," and I'm like, okay. You know, so then I think that's where I got the chops to actually perform.
Okay.
And I was recently listening to an interview that Timbaland, the producer Timbaland, did on his Instagram, and he was talking about that nowadays with the new generation, a lot of, you know, that church grooming as far as like singing is lacking in the music now, but that's where I actually started singing and started to learn how to perform.
There.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot lacking right now.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. But also, you know, it's new, you know, and then with everything new, you know, it has to start somewhere. So you know, I'm just hoping that it catch back up, you know. But with that as well, like with soul music making a resurgence, you know, hopefully that could impact the next generation the way it's impacted us.
Do you write?
Yes, I started writing at a young age. I really started writing when my father passed away. My father passed away when I was 7 years old. And that's when I realized I had a gift for writing poetry and, you know, actually just writing songs. I actually started playing on one of those pianos my uncle had in the house, and I came up with like my first song. It was like maybe a verse and a hook. I didn't know what a verse and a hook was at the time, but I just knew that, you know, how it sounded to me sonically. So, you know, that's when I started writing.
What subject matters do you write about?
Well, again,
like mine are like more biographical.
Mine are just things that people could relate to for the most part. When I first started writing, it was biographical. It was experiences that I've experienced. But, you know, as I've progressed into writing, I realized that a lot of people have a lot of different things in common. So, you know, most of the things that I write about is things that are relative to what's going on in the community, what could be going on in a person's relationship, things that I've experienced watching, just observing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I get inspiration from all types of things. But like I said, I'm just a vessel. Really, when I'm either vibing or listening to music, or we're creating something,
Mm-hmm.
it'll just come. You know, so I just say I'm just a vessel. Whatever comes out, it comes out. You know.
Okay.
And,
Where do you see yourself on the marketplace?
well, I'm a multi-genre artist. I don't see myself like being. I know people like to lump me in and say, "Oh, but you're R&B. You're specifically R&B, or you're a soul singer, or you're a pop singer, or whatever." I just make music. You know,
I always say, let the people in the offices decide what you are.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard to. You just pull from every part of your life.
I'm just a creative.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like a painter. A painter paints a picture. He's not like, okay, I'm gonna paint this picture today. He just paints, and lots of
business people are the ones that
figure it out.
define what it is.
Yeah, so that's what I do as a creative person. I'm naturally creative. I'm creative in art. I'm creative in fashion.
Well, you got style.
Yeah, I guess the little modeling back in the days kind of paid off. So, but essentially, it's just where I'm at now is just I'm just letting it flow. Whatever flows in and flows out is what it's going to be.
So, what's your goal?
Well, my end goal is with music. I really just want to do what I love doing. Where, this music is something that I could do in my sleep. Something that I dream songs. I wake up out of a dream and just have a whole song written in my head. So for me, I just would love to do what I feel is my purpose. Music is my purpose. It's my passion. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. I'll get emotional. But that's my goal. My goal is to just be free. I think it's a sense of freedom when you're doing what you.
But you want to make money.
Oh no, of course I want to make money. I want to travel the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Money.
And I want to travel the world. Yeah. I want to see what's going on out there. I would love to perform with people. I would love to reach people. I think that music is a language of love. I think that
it's a universal language.
It's a universal language. Yeah. Anybody. And I don't care if you don't speak the language.
Oh, you don't need to. You can feel
sonically, you can feel it. So that's what I think. It's funny because when I was a kid, my dad used to always say, "Oh, you're going to be a pastor." I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a pastor, but maybe that's
my ministry.
That's my music ministry.
Yeah.
I think that's my goal with music is to just the way that it touches me. I just want to touch somebody in a way where it's they feel it. So, yeah.
Now, this is an existential question.
Yes.
What makes you sing?
Well, like I said before, I'm naturally gifted in a lot of things. So, like, I've been one of those jack of all trades that have, I've been fairly good at a lot of things. So, with music, it's just singing. It's just something that came natural to me, and, I always thought I would be a writer opposed to being a performer. But, I guess with the singing, it comes with the territory,
Oh, but is it something deep inside that says that you have to express it?
Yes. It's an outlet, Singing is like exercising for me.
Right.
It's like brushing your teeth is just something that I do naturally. Even when I speak, some people say, "Oh, you sound like a singer." So it's just in me. I can't really explain it. It's just something that's in you that you have to let out.
Right.
So I think for me, it's like life. It's like breathing.
Well, exactly. If you couldn't, you'd suffocate.
Yeah. If I couldn't sing, I don't think that. It's like. That's your purpose, knowing your passion. Like singing is something that's within me that, I think I'm here again in this realm to do something with that, And I think that's my service, I think we're all here to serve in some way. And I think that God has gifted me with this blessing.
They say if you don't use your gifts, it's almost like cursing God.
It is like cursing God, like I just wanted. That's my goal. My goal is really to make the music. Really, I think the money will come. I think I make good enough music to make money. So like, You know, I think that it'll come. For me, I just want to affect people in a positive way through music, and I just want them to understand that, you know, when I write these songs, that you're not going through these things alone. Everybody has common experiences, you know.
Right,
so,
right.
you know, like you said, the money will come. I would like to travel the world, really, honestly, and just.
And also, what a lot of people don't understand is that there are so many avenues you can go with this.
Yeah.
That you can travel the world. Nobody will know who you are. It doesn't matter, but you will be working crazy.
Yeah, and that's been the blessing. I think when you move in the spirit of gratitude, I think the flow just naturally.
And also,
happens.
this is, you know, a lot of times, I think we limit ourselves, or people limit themselves to trying to be like what we see as far as, you know, the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's and all that stuff. That is such a small part of what the music industry is about.
Absolutely. I think that it's more. I think that for me, like, you know, especially within our community, I think that we have this disposition where it's like, you know, when you get into a certain position, it's like, you know, you're above the next person, or you don't want to help elevate, you know, not elevate the culture, but elevate your people,
right?
You know, your family, your community. You know what I mean? I think it's bigger than just music. You know what I mean? And even with the fashion, I think that, you know, because with me, I think that, you know, fashion and music and just being creative, you know, I think that that's important. I think that it's important for people to be creative, to be who they are, and to learn who they are. You know, through your creativities, I think you learn more about yourself every day. So,
what are your upcoming projects?
Well, right now I'm working on this project that's called "In My Feelings."
Okay.
My wife wants to say "Love and Hate," but we're gonna put that because you'll understand it when you listen to the songs. But
okay.
It's an interesting project, you know, it really is, you know, because in the project, you know, it deals with a lot of different things that are relative to love and relative to just being in a relationship, you know, instances that are relatable. So, you know, I'm excited about this project. You know, I worked diligently, and I put a lot of work and effort and commitment into doing it. You know, I'm really proud of it because of the fact that I committed to it. You know, it's been times with music that I've taken breaks, taken long hiatuses. You know, sometimes you have like a mental block where you're not writing, or you may be just experiencing life.
Or life is life.
Life is definitely life.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, but this year I really, let's say 2022 to 2024, I really just committed to being consistent. You know, and you know, with COVID, it's slowed down a lot of things, and you know, a lot of people are going through a lot of different things. Like for me myself, you know, a lot of people don't really talk about things, but I realized that I was functioning as you know, like how would you say it, a functioning depressed person. You know, and I just works through everything, and that was my way of doing it, just working through everything. You didn't realize it until you say it out loud, like, yeah, I'm depressed.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, so like, you know, I think that my music was my therapy. It got me out of, you know, dark places when I was feeling like, okay, well, you know, it's like, you just want to scream.
Sure,
you know? So, you know.
So when do you foresee it coming out?
Oh my God. I was hoping it would have been out by the end of October, but right now, realistically, I think it's going to be, we're putting the final touches on it. Like right now, we're about 98% done with it.
Okay.
And
but you don't have a definitive title?
I have a definitive title. It's called "In My Feelings."
Okay, "In My Feelings." It's on Spotify, I know. It's on all the streaming.
No, it's going to be on all the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
It's not on
yet. Oh, no, it's not there yet, but just look for it, okay?
All the streaming platforms, title. It's also going to be on my website. My wife and I, we have a record label that's called cccentertainment.org. And CCC Entertainment is like my baby, so it'll be there as well. So,
all right, cool.
But I'm very excited about this project. I put a lot of work in it. You're going to see some of the visuals, and you're going to hear the whole project, all the songs.
I look forward to
So
it.
I'm excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should be excited about this. I got a lot of different things. We're going to have, it's going to also be mixed in Atmos, which is a new thing that they're doing right now with the surround sound. So you'll also be able to get the stereos and the Atmos, so I'm excited. I'm just excited about, the direction of, like I said, with the resurgence of soul music. I'm excited about that because you're going to see a lot of the inspirations that I mentioned earlier in this project.
Okay.
And it's just the vibe.
Can't wait. Well, Pierre, I want to thank you.
Thank you, Earl. I appreciate you for having me on your platform. And thank
It's
you.
going to be great.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. I appreciate your talent. And the world will appreciate you even more.